Hello, hello. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited, everybody, to invite my dear friend Ashley to join me today for the restart of my YouTube channel. I was on for a year ago, and I just kind of fell off because of just my own, going through my own motions of growth and evolution. But in the meantime, I met Ashley at a retreat, and we want to talk about how it is to go through this process with your tribe. So I don't know, Ashley, you want to jump in and kind of talk about how we met?
Hi,
Kind of
Kris.
interesting. Hi.
Yeah, we both just felt the call to go to Santa Fe for a retreat. And then, um, one thing just led to another, right? I remember my friend Michelle was like, "Oh my God, you have to meet Kris. She's like a high priestess. She's an Egyptian goddess. She's been around forever, right?" And then we all start talking, and then it's like one synchronicity after another, and then we're like, "Oh my God, we're supposed to be friends." And then we drove home together. Remember, you came home through
Yep.
Phoenix, and we just like talked the entire time, and then we've just stayed in contact. And that's what we were talking about, like how important it is to find people like that I never in a million years would have thought I would connect with you, like
Hmm.
it's
Hmm.
just incredible. And then whenever we're having a bad day or we feel like this is a big energy day, then we can just tap into each other and say, let's have a quick phone call, because whatever happens when we use our voices and we connect, it's like our frequencies raise. And do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, because I started to notice this. I've had this natural part of me that gathers people together, and way before I even start doing this type of work, the spiritual work. And I would be the person in the office that everybody would email asking what we were up to for happy hour. So I was this natural gatherer of people. And since I moved more into my spiritual path, I noticed that I pull people together, and at this point, I pull very high vibration um, priestesses, goddesses, the ones who are on this path, and just kind of for those people who aren't used to that term priestess. And I'd like to comment about Michelle saying that Michelle knew nothing about me, and I had not fully stepped into my priestess path. And so it's very interesting that she saw me that, and then she knew that I was a really old soul too. That was really incredible that she knew that. But when I say priestess, what that really means is it's really an ancient order lineage of light workers who have throughout the span of the different worlds and paradigms here on Earth have been the ones who come here to lead in a way that is about connecting to source, right? So different words, God, universe. So we lead a path in which we are working through our own shadow. We're way showers. We're working through our own shadow in order to provide the way for others. And so this is part of the path. And we just that's all we care about. So we're very dedicated to this path. And it's very hard for us to be with a partner who is not on the path, because it is just so clear. That partner would have to be very understanding or be on the path with us. But so yeah, go ahead.
Well, and it's not just partners, it's just friends, like it's so important to be around like-minded people and not feel like you're crazy and not feel like you're losing your mind. And it helps you keep focused on what's, really important. And connection is so important. And
Yes.
yeah, and
That
I get that fairy energy where I just start and I just like bounce off the walls, and then your voice is so calming, and you like bring it back in.
it's true. It's true. It's funny, but I knew right away you were a fairy. Um, so yeah, we are activating each other. This is the thing. Once we get within a certain bandwidth, I call it like a bandwidth, right? A frequency, we are drawn to those. If I do it this way, because frequency, the higher the frequency, the more consciousness you have. So so let's just say somebody vibrating at a lower frequency within the bandwidth is attracted to someone who's in the higher frequencies, if they're, especially if they're meant to evolve, you know, in this way, ascend. And so, yeah, we're attracted to each other. And just by being in the vicinity or connection, meaning you and I don't live near each other, we talk on the phone all the time. But I noticed that no matter what we're talking about, we don't have to talk about my problems. Actually, if I call and I'm not doing well, just talking to you will immediately begin to shift me. And I believe that's the activation piece. Knowing comes in, downloads come in.
Right. And we cannot talk and come back and we're both going through the same experience. So then I wonder what is mine versus what is the collective work, because you will say, I'm going to Egypt and I'm going to be downloading these codes. And I will say, Kris, I just experienced that same thing in my own way. So it's like my Carrie and I say, like, all that saying, all roads lead to Rome, is really valid, because we all have our way, but we're helping each other on the way. And then we know when we are both doing the same thing or both having the same experience, we know that we must be on the right path. Otherwise, it wouldn't be in both of our projections.
Yeah. And then that's also the collective work. That's how it also works is so I believe the tribe, like when we start to find each other, one of the characteristics of finding your tribe, because I've had people who want to meet they're like, they need to have connection to people who are more like them. And one of the characteristics that I notice is that the connection is immediate. There's just effortless conversation. The like-mindedness is very close. So even if somebody knows more than the other one goes, oh yeah, that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So there's this immediate coming together, immediate synchronicity. And so that to me, and then we had an interesting synchronicity in that I was supposed to fly back from New Mexico, but because I accidentally left my laptop in Phoenix, I ended up catching a ride with you guys back, driving back with you, so I could stop in Phoenix to get my laptop, because it was a flight thing or something. I forget now how it worked, but I wasn't going to be able to arrive there with a flight time. So yeah, we are really activating each other, and that's why I think it is important to gather with your tribe and to find them. You'll know.
Yeah. And for people that say, I don't know how to, I'm dying for that connection, I don't know how to get there, you could start by just connecting to yourself and with nature. And if you stay in that gratitude of, I am connected to so much, like, look at the trees, look at the birds, whatever resonates in you that creates this like fire in your heart, then it has to come back to you in your physical reality. It's the universal law. So just know your tribe is coming or your person is coming, because there's no other way, but you have to open yourself up to receive that kind of connection. And the earth, the plants, the animals, they all run at a super high frequency all of the time, where we are like this with the matrix we are in. The plants and the animals, that they aren't doing that, they're just straight. So you could hold your vibration high that's why they say to be out in nature, to drink water, all of that, because that'll keep you in that resonance. So then the right person does just show up, and then you can have any conversation you want with this person, where there's no judgment, there's help anytime, and there's no need to have small talk. It's just like, bam, give it to me, let's go. And it happens every time. And then we feel so good when we leave the connection, because you should feel good when you are connecting with friends. If you get like a weird feeling, or this doesn't feel good, or I didn't like that, then that's your body telling you, to pay attention to all that. So,
and yeah, that's very true. It does. There is a resonance within that you experience. And I like what you said about how do you connect to yourself, connect to nature. So you want to bring your vibration up. You want to set the intention, send it out into the field, because field source always responds. It's just our own limitations that block it. So it really is available to us. The other thing that I would suggest is go to events where people who are like-minded may go. So for instance, we met at a retreat. Many of my sisters I met at retreats.
That was my first retreat, Kris. I don't think I'd ever been to a retreat.
Wow.
That was, yeah. So it's not like I'm party hopping looking for people, you know. It was just
I'm
like
party hopping.
right. It was just like, I know we need to be there. Let's go. And then, right, you just follow what feels good. You follow the joy. And then the rest just kind of unfolds for you in such a magical way, where we always can kind of tap into that magic and then that resonance within of the mission work of what we're here to do. And I think we're here to connect women of all of everywhere. You know, I really feel strongly about that and connecting, you know, Mary Magdalene to Mary, to Mother Mary, because there's a huge polarity between the two that we were taught, right? And so we all have both within us. We all have the Lilith and the Mary Magdalene, and embracing who we are together and merging it's so beautiful. So
yeah. So I'd like to, before we get off, we just so everybody knows, we decided to do this like literally in 5 minutes. I think you text me last night and said, we need to do that podcast. I'm like, you're reading my mind. She's like, duh, of course. So this morning we got on the call and I just said, let's do that. She goes, but I'm on my way to a job. So thank you for being so spontaneous with me. What I'd like to do is let's get together, and there's a couple things that I'm interested in expanding more, which I would if we had more time. And that is, you know, our life path, our soul path. You know, how do we know what it is? And then also we talked about this just before getting on the call. It's very important to start to help people understand how not to get anchored into the 3D grid. You know, because right now, as we're moving into 4D, 5D, and to even understand what the difference is, we're multidimensional, and we are going to be fluidly moving between all the dimensional paths or frequencies, but there is a way not to get attached to 3D, and there are so many ways to be attached. It is incredible. I personally have been trapped in it, even though I'm out. I can get trapped in it because part of what I'm here to do is to be the bridge between the two. So yes, we'll talk about that and any other cool things that come up. We find no problem finding something to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many topics. There's so many topics and so many guests I can already think that we have to include, because, you know, we attract like tribe, and there's so many brilliant women that are working on different things collectively that maybe don't even realize it until they take the eagle view. Like Carrie is amazing with codes and symbology and finding all the inversions of the matrix. There's symbology everywhere, and everything that we have been taught is not necessarily truth. And so we just deep dive all of these topics, and our husbands laugh at us and we make memes to make fun of ourselves. And that's, you know, just finding the joy in all of it, right? Because I think that's so important. So this brings me joy that we're here this morning, and yeah, I love you.
Yes, I love you too. And that's the beautiful ending message is find your joy, bring it into your heart, feel it and live it, you know, be it. So I will talk to you soon.
Okay.
And everybody, thank you for joining us. I'll be posting this to my YouTube channel. And please like and subscribe. Love you, Ashley. Bye.
Okay. I love you. Bye.